Oh,
I know, right? All right, we are live on YouTube. I'm just waiting on the video to connect to my other monitor so that I can grab that link and put it inside of our free business mastermind group so that our members can join us here on YouTube live very easily, very conveniently, very demure. Okay, let me just keep going. Okay, where is the link? Here you go. We got the link over here. Let me grab that. All right, we can throw that in the group. Okay, that is cycling and posting. Come on. Okay, great. Now let me just make sure I can see the live chat. And I can. So let's get started. Welcome to the Her First Six Figures Morning Show, which is more of an interactive coaching and training experience as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and Brown female online service based entrepreneurs to generate their first six figures in business by showing you how to make the money and create time freedom. This week's blog is at shaycannon.com/decisions with an S. That's shaycannon.com/decisions. Because what we are talking about this week is how to turn your business data into operational decisions. Okay. This month, this quarter, really, we've been talking about operations a lot. We've been talking about structure. But one of the things that I always tell you is not only do you need to know your numbers, surrounding your business stuff, right? You need to know your data, but you need to make data driven decisions. And I'm sure you hear that all the time. Oh, you need to make data driven decisions. You need to know your numbers. But then I know you're like, well, what numbers? What data is you talking about? And how do I make the decision? Well, that's what we're talking about this week. Okay. So yesterday we talked about your four main areas of business. Okay, we talked about marketing, sales, finances, and operations. Okay, as your four main areas of business. And then I gave you 5 data points for each of those 4 areas that you need to be getting a hand, getting down and recording and collecting. Okay, so if you want to know those, we're gonna say how many is that? That's 20, right? 5 times 4 is 20, right? So those, if you want to know those 20 things you need to know, you need to go to yesterday's replay, where we talked about the data points that really move the needle, what data for each of those areas that you need to be collecting. Okay. Now today, I'm actually going to take those same data points, okay, and show you how to review them and then make a data driven decision. Because, without me showing you how to do this thing, just telling you is not really helping. So, but we're going to start off with talking about recurring problems mean broken systems. Okay. So we're looking at these data points to see if the major things we need from each of these areas of business are working. And if stuff is not working and we keep having the same problem over and over again, that means the system is broken. Okay. So recurring problems mean broken systems. Look for patterns in data. When the same issue keeps showing up, it's not bad luck, it's a broken system. If late client deliveries keep happening, you keep having to repeatedly give refunds, or the same kind of client questions or feedback keeps coming up, you're not dealing with random problems. You're looking at a pattern that's begging for you to create processes and systems around them. Okay. So for our online service-based solopreneurs, this is kind of a silent killer of your time and your energy, because what happens is you fix it once and then it happens again, and then it happens again and it happens again, because you out here hoping and praying, but you haven't done a process and a system. Okay, so the real problem isn't that you lack effort, it's that there's no system holding that part of your business together. And without that structure, you end up constantly firefighting or being reactive with what could have been solved at the root. Okay. So that is the blog. But here on the morning show, we give you more. I've already told you what that more is going to be. Now, We're going to go through the 4 areas of business that we talked about yesterday: marketing, sales, finances, and operations. Okay. And we're going to talk about the 5 top data points for each one of those. And these are general top data points. Some of them are not going to, be a top data point for everybody. So just understand the data that you're supposed to be recording is the data that shows the performance for the goals that you have for that area of your business. Okay. So when you have goals, you should have a data point that is recording the performance of that goal. All right. So that's how we come up with our top data points. So if these 5 I'm giving you for each of these areas don't seem to fit for you, then start thinking about what are my goals and how do I record and get the data of the performance of those goals. Come up with your own 5 data points. Okay. But we're going to start with the ones that I did yesterday. Now, this is what I'm doing today. Because what I understand is when I tell you to make data-driven decisions and when I tell you to collect the data, if I start hopping around with the examples, it's less effective. So we're going to use the same examples of the data points you need to be collecting for these 4 areas of business today. And then I'm going to tell you what does that data point mean and then how to fix it. Okay, so this is how we make a data-driven decision. We're going to collect this data. We're going to look at it. And if something goes wrong, this is what it means it's broken. And this is how we fix it. Y'all got it? Let's go. All right. In the area of marketing, okay, again, our goal is, are we attracting the right people? That's our goal. So we're pulling in data points that is trying to help us to see how we performing with that. All right. So the first one is lead source breakdown. That's the data point we're collecting, right? Where are your leads actually coming from? That's the data point. Okay. What can break with that data point is you don't know you don't know where they're coming from. Okay. You don't know where your leads are coming from. Therefore, you around here wasting energy on platforms that are not performing. That's what's broken. Okay. How you fix it is you need to double down on what's working and stop doing what's not working. This year, starting in January, I stopped playing with TikTok. Y'all know I got on TikTok last year and I was focused on it. It was a part of my platforms that I do, trying to get following and leads and community and tribe. That thing wasn't doing nothing for me. So at the top of this year, no more TikTok. It was not performing for me. But if I wasn't looking at the data of, am I getting new followers? Are people engaging on these posts? How many views are on these videos? If I wasn't collecting that data, I wouldn't have known that TikTok wasn't working for me in particular, the way that I put out content. And therefore, I'd still be doing TikTok this year over here, wasting my time and my energy. Okay. So that's the first one, lead source breakdown. Number 2, top performing content. I just gave a huge example on that. Got ahead of myself, didn't I? So that's basically what topics, though, actually move people closer to working with you. So that's the data point that we want. What's the top performing content? What can get broken with it? Well, if engagement is high, but leads are low, our content may be entertaining, but it's not converting. So again, we still kind of wasting time and energy. Now, at least we getting engagement, but ain't nobody out here getting $1 for every piece of engagement. So we still have to be able to convert them into a lead. So that's what's broken. What's the fix? Well, we need to shift the focus of the content to have clear calls to actions so we can get conversions. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to start with. If our content is engaging, but it's not converting into leads, then we need to check our call to action. All right. Cool beans. Number 3, conversion rate from content to lead. From content to lead. Okay. So how many people take an action? We put the call to action out there, but how many people are actually taking the action from all of the content we're putting out? Now, that could be social media, that could be emails, things, your blog, anything. Okay. Now, what could be broke? Well, if the rate of conversion is low, then that might mean that your messaging isn't connecting. Okay, that might mean your messaging isn't connecting. What you're talking about isn't, they're not interested in. Okay, so what's the fix? Tweak your content, tweak the positioning, tweak the message to be something that they care about, something that would catch their attention. All right. Number 4, email list growth rates. How many new people are you getting on your email list? All right. So what could be broken with that? Well, if your list is growing slowly or not at all, then your lead capture is not compelling. They don't care about it. They don't want to give you their email address in exchange for it. So your list is not building. Or maybe you're not using a lead magnet at all. So, of course, if you don't have anything that's bringing in leads to the email list, of course, that's not going to work because you ain't doing nothing. But let's say you're doing something, right, to continuously build your list, but it's not working. It's not bringing the people in. Well, a fix for that could be upgrade what that opt-in is, upgrade what that lead magnet is, make it a more valuable lead magnet. Okay, that could be the fix. Or it could be that lead magnet might need more visibility. How many people are seeing this lead magnet? How many people are you putting this lead magnet in front of? Is it just sitting on your website and you like, ain't nobody signing up? Well, are you driving traffic to the website? So that's an example of a fix. All right. Number 5 under marketing, audience growth rate. This is how fast you're growing your followership. I almost said fellowship, but your followership, right? So what could be broken? Well, if your growth is flatlined, that could be another thing about visibility. How are you driving traffic? How are you making sure that a lot of people are seeing this thing so that your audience is growing, so that your followers are growing? So how to fix it? Evaluate where and how often you show up. Okay? How often are you getting in front of audiences so that people are following you? How often are you putting new stuff out there that interests people? How consistent are you with it? Okay? So that every time you pop up, people follow you. If you're not doing the work, they're not going to follow you. If you don't show up, they don't show up. Okay? Now let's go into sales. The first thing we talked about was the discovery call conversion rate. And if you remember, I said it doesn't have to be a telephone call. It could be a video conference. It could be DM. All it is that discovery conversation where people are inquiring about your business and you are answering questions and y'all are trying to figure out, should we work together and what package should it be and all of that. That could be in DMs. That could be in via email. That could be a phone call. That could be a video conference like a Zoom. Okay. So what can be broken with that? Well, if your calls are not converting, you're talking to these people, but they're not buying nothing that you're selling. Okay. So you're talking to them, they're not buying nothing that you're selling. That could be what's broken with it. Well, how do you fix that? Well, do you have a call structure? Some of y'all are winging these calls. There are different little points you need to be getting to so that you're actually giving them information to make a buying decision. And some of y'all need a structure for the call just so you ain't over here giving away everything but the kitchen sink and then wondering why they didn't buy, but you didn't give them so much free information. They out here just living their best life and not paying you. Okay. So that's what could be broken. That might be how you fix it. Number 2, sales conversion by offer. Okay. Sales conversion by offer. So that's like which offer brings the most sales consistently is what we're looking at with that data. What could be broken with it? Well, if one offer is underperforming, but you're putting a lot of energy in that one, but another offer is doing well, but you're not putting enough energy into that one, that could be broken, right? So the fix is going to be know which offer works and which one is not. Which one is selling, which one is not. The one that is not selling, we might need another offer. The one that is selling, we need to put more traffic, more promos, more visibility to that offer that is working. All right. Number 3 under sales, revenue per lead per offer. Okay. So let me explain it because I don't know if I did a good job of explaining it yesterday. Basically, what revenue per lead per offer is different than revenue per offer. Okay. What we're looking at is one lead. And what is the revenue we're making from them per offer? So are they showing up to multiple workshops? Are they in one offer or campaign? Are they getting the downsell, the upsell, and the main offer? Are they bundling things in one purchase? That's what I mean by what is the revenue per lead per offer. Okay, how much stuff is they buying? Okay, so what could be broken? If you're making one sale per lead, you're probably leaving money on the table. You're probably leaving money on the table. What is something about them that you're not servicing or not offering where they could buy multiple things? Okay, so that's the fix. Look at how you can deepen the offer, add more things to it, add related offers, whether that be upsells, downsells, or bundling. Give them an opportunity to buy more than the one thing. That's how you fix that. All right. Next data point under sales is going to be time it takes for your people to go from being a lead to being an actual paid client. So on here, I have time from lead to close. How long does that take? Okay. Are people buying quickly? Are they lingering into decision limbo? Like they don't have enough information to make a buying decision, so it takes them too long to decide to buy? Or we ain't talking about they don't buy at all. We're talking about they finally buy, but how long does it take them from the time that they're presented the offer to the time that they actually buy? Now, what could go wrong with that? What could break about that? Well, if leads are stalling, if they taking too long, right, then that's going to mess with your cash flow. So how do we fix that? We need to strengthen our trust, okay? We need to make sure we're overcoming objections. Okay, we need to make sure we're talking to the right people. We need to add urgency. This is why urgency is important. You know, we talk about psychology of sales and we talk about add urgency, but if you just put your offer out there and tell them what the price is without urgency, then why should they buy it today versus a year from now? That's the problem that urgency solves. Put something in there that gives some urgency, and now they need to buy it today. Okay, or very, very soon versus later. All right, last data point under sales is going to be follow-up response rate. That is, are people responding after your first touch point? Are you reaching out after the first touch point, or is there a gap? So what could be broken with that? Well, if you get ghosted in your follow-up, that could be what's broken. Like the follow-up is just not working. You might be doing the follow-up and they're just not responding to it. So what's a fix to that? A fix to that could be how and when you follow up. How are you following up? When are you following up? Some of y'all follow up too late. Folks done forgot all about you. You done waited 3 days. Do you know how much life people live in 3 days? They not thinking about you no more. And now you coming and following up. Think about some of the events that y'all go to and network with people, and you get cards or you get names or you follow them on social media or whatever. And then y'all wait 3 months talking about following up. Hey, I saw you at so-and-so event. Nobody remember who you are. So when are you following up? Are you following up quick enough to where they understand who you are? You ain't got to repeat all that stuff, right? And then how are you following up? So if you talk to them on the phone, are you sending them a text message? If you talk to them via email, are you sending them a email back? Or did you do a DM? Or maybe it's the format. Could you send a video? And maybe they will respond better to a video over written stuff. So how and when? All right, let's go into the area of finances, okay? Data point number 1. Monthly revenue versus your revenue goal, right? We should be keeping this scorecard of, we know what our goal is, but how much money did we actually bring in? Okay. So what could go wrong with that? What could be broken? If you consistently are not hitting the mark on revenue goals, okay, that could be what's going wrong. Okay. I got this revenue goal. I'm bringing in money, but it's not the money that I need to make for the goals that I have. A lot of us are running businesses. We're making a little money here and there, but the business can't sustain itself. It can't even pay itself. It can't even take care of its own expenses. So the goal may be that you at least break even. Now that's a piss poor goal, but hey, that could be a goal. Okay. But that could be what goes wrong. How do we fix that? Maybe we need to restructure our pricing. Okay. Maybe we need to restructure the profit margin. Okay. Some of us aren't hitting our goals. Well, profit margin was next. Maybe I shouldn't have said profit margin. Let me think of something else. Maybe we need to adjust how often we put the offer out there to get more sales in. Okay. Because a lot of y'all don't meet your revenue goal because you're not telling enough people enough ways and enough times what you have for sale. Some of y'all do one post a month and you like, well, I don't feel like I got a real business. Well, real businesses find a way to sell every day. So maybe you're not selling often enough. Okay, now I dipped into number two. Number two was offer profit margin. Offer profit margin. And that is how much money is left over from the expenses of what it takes to service an offer. Okay, what is the profit margin of the offer? So what can go broken? What can go wrong with that, and what could break? If your profits are thin or you don't have none. Okay, your profits thin or you don't have any. How do we fix that? Restructure our pricing. Some of that could be we shorten the amount of time it takes us to deliver. Some of that could be take out some of the stuff we trying to give people as a part of it. That could be eaten into your profit margin because you know a lot of y'all be out here confidence pricing, but you also be out here confidence serving. Over here just giving folks all this stuff that takes up a lot of your time, may even take up a lot of your expenses, and therefore that's cutting into the profit of how much you're making off of this offer. All right. Number three, under finances, the data point number three, monthly recurring revenue, MRR is what they like to call it. So it's very important for your cash flow. We're going to talk about cash flow in a minute next, actually. But what I told you yesterday is you can have money from somebody pays you, you do the service and they go away. Somebody pays you, you do a service and they go away. Okay. So you're always having to find a new somebody to pay you and then they go away. Recurring income are things like retainer clients, payment plans, subscriptions, memberships, things like that that pay every month. Now, I say every month, but it could be every quarter, it could be annual, it could be every year, right? So that's what it is. That's a data point we need. What could go wrong with that? Well, if your monthly recurring revenue is low, is it unpredictable? That could be what goes wrong. What can you do to fix it? Well, you can create ways for clients to pay you consistently instead of just once. Okay. How can somebody pay you consistently instead of just once? For example, some of us have great downloadables and stuff, and we may be selling them as a passive income product. But what if we made a membership out of that? Okay. What if we took that one product, because we're always creating these products, and we created a membership where we drip products every month? They're getting something new every month. Therefore, they're willing to pay you for this something new every month. Okay. So that could be an example of trying to create a MMR or a monthly recurring revenue. And then to make it predictable, how often are you promoting it? How often are you maintaining it? Right. So in my membership, I'm about to do something new in this new month because I love to do more things in my membership to keep it fresh. Okay. I love to pay attention to what's working, what's not working in my membership, because something is not working. I need to find a solution for that, or people will stop paying me. So that's the fix. The next thing, cash flow, money in and out. Again, this is a matter of, I gave you the example yesterday of you, if we just looked at monthly at what your expenses were. Let's say your expenses were $800, and we looked at how much money you brought in monthly, and that was $1,000. That looks like you have great cash flow because how much you bring in is more than how much you have to pay out. Right? You even got a little profit margin in there. However, what cash flow actually is when does that money come in and when does it need to go out? So if that $1,000 is $500 on the first and $500 on the 15th, but you got $700 due in expenses between the first and the 14th, that's horrible cash flow. Okay. That's going from famine and feast in your every month. So fix your cash flow. Now, so that could be what goes wrong with it. How do you fix it? Well, you can realign your invoicing and your payment terms and your billing cycles. Okay. I have clients, I have retainer clients. Some pay on the 1st and some pay on the 15th. And when I am bringing them in on a discovery call and onboarding them, I know which one I want them to come in on based on who is paying me on the 1st and the 15th now. Right? Because when my memberships are they come in at different random times. I can't control those. If you sign up for the membership, whatever day of the month you sign up on, that's going to be when it bills you every month. I have no control over that. But when I'm getting in retainer clients, I can push that cash flow to spread throughout the month, so I know I got pockets of money coming in that can take care of all of the expenses that come in across that month. Okay, so that's how you fix that. Number 5 data point under finances: average lifetime value of your client. Okay, so that is how much one client is actually worth over time. Not the first time that they buy, not the second time that they buy, but over a lifetime. What is the average amount, the value of one client over a lifetime? And what could go wrong with that? Well, if the amount of money people are willing to pay you over the lifetime of their relationship with you, that number is low. We want that number to be high. Okay, even if you don't have high ticket offers, they still can keep spending money with you, so that over the lifetime of the relationship with you, they spend a lot of money. Think about Walmart. Think about you know what? Think about the dollar store, the old dollar store, when stuff used to actually be $1. You go in the dollar store and you come out, you just spent $200, right? So it's not that everything in there was high priced. It's that you kept buying stuff, and therefore how much you ended up spending over time, all right, started to be a larger amount. So same thing with our lifetime value with our clients. So if it's low, here's the fix. Focus on client retention. Actually focus on how we get people to come back. Actually focus on how we get people to buy from us again. Okay. And this is where you could do like the upsells, downsells, and all that kind of stuff. This can also be where you look at your offer ladder to see, are you servicing them well? Okay. So lifetime client value. All right, let's go to our final area of business, which is general operations. The goal here is sustainability and scalability. And so the first data point: client delivery time versus your forecasted delivery time, like the actual delivery time versus the forecasted delivery time. Like, we know that we got phases of business for our service. We know that if things go well, this service could take 4 weeks. Okay. So that's what we estimate. That's what we forecast, 4 weeks. And then we notice that actual time for a lot of these clients start being 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks instead of our 4 weeks. Okay. So that's what could go wrong. It's taking longer than we forecasted. How do we fix that? You're going to have to tighten up your processes. Okay. You're going to have to reset some expectations, because you might be doing a little too much, allowing them to request too much, and you actually doing it. You might have to tighten up them boundaries. All of this. Okay. Go back to the process of servicing them and the phases, and see what's hanging up each phase. What's taking you too long to get to each milestone. Okay. So that's how you fix that actual delivery time versus estimated delivery time. All right. Next data point: how many open projects versus completed projects. If everything seems to be half done, okay, if you keep bringing in new clients, but you're not closing out clients, nobody's offboarding, but this is not meant to be like a retainer service. Like, this a project, they should be up out of here. That's what could break. That things are happening to where you got way too many open projects and not enough closed projects. Nothing is getting finalized. So how do you fix that? You probably need to prioritize better. Okay. Because this is probably not an effort thing. You need to prioritize. Okay. Because at the end of the day, what's happening within each product, the things that mean the most to move the project forward are not happening. So that's why I say prioritization. We need to prioritize the correct tasks. All right. Next data point under general operations is support tickets, client questions, or client feedback. Okay. So if you're getting a lot of issues from your clients, that's a problem. Okay. That's what could break. So how do we fix that? We need to streamline stuff. We need to be more proactive than reactive to things that we need to be thinking around stuff. What could happen that go wrong for our client? Start thinking about it before it happens, so that we can be proactive rather than reactive. Also, are you actually using the feedback you've gotten before to fix things? Actually use the feedback to fix stuff. Okay. Number 4 data point under operations, repeat client rate. Do clients actually come back at all? Do clients come back at all? That's basically what that is. And that's basically a problem. So how do we fix that? We create a clear path of re-engagement. Some of y'all got great services, right? And it might seem like it's a one and done. For example, when I do the business blueprints, once I give you a blueprint for your business, that seems on the surface like a one and done. But it's not, because that one roadmap doesn't last always. It has an expiration date. So I should be talking to people and telling them, hey, to bring you back as a repeat client, even with this same thing that seemed like a one-time thing to buy, I need to tell you, hey, these are the things to look for to understand when you need a new blueprint. Okay, I need to have them in a funnel where it's saying, 6 months down, hey, some things may have changed about your offers or about your business to where now it's time to get a new blueprint. Okay, 1 year anniversary. Hey, you've had your blueprint a year. It's definitely time to get another one. Okay, so there are things that you can do to make sure that you get repeat clients, even if your service looks like a one and done. Number 5 data point under operations, number of documented SOPs and templates, scripts, things like that. Because if you're still doing everything from scratch and manually when it could have been automated, or you still building that Big Mac different every time, which means you're not following, even though you're doing it manually, you're not following a process, that's a problem. So of course the fix is going to be put processes in place, okay? Put automations in place. Create templates to be used over and over again. Create scripts to be used over and over again so that you save time, money, energy, and your sanity. All right? Now, that was a lot, right? We did a lot today. The question is going to be, which of the data point fixes do you need to execute as soon as possible to actually shift the needle towards success in an area of business that means the most to you? Okay. So again, if you were here yesterday, you might have told me an area of business and a data point. Just think about that data point and tell me the fix that you need to implement. All right. So I'm going to go back through everything without all the extra. All right. In the area of business of marketing, there was lead source breakdown. And I'm not going to go through the broken and the fix because hopefully you remember. But there was what was it? Top performing content. There was conversion rate. There was email list growth. There was audience growth, which is like your followers. In sales, there was your discovery call conversion rate. There was the sales conversion by offer. There was the revenue per lead per offer. There was time from lead to close. And then there was follow-up response rate. In the area of finance, the data points were monthly revenue versus revenue goal, offer profit margin, monthly recurring revenue, cash flow, the in and the out, and last but not least, lifetime customer value. Under the area of general operations, there was client delivery time versus the actually forecast time, so the actual time versus the forecast time, open projects versus completed projects, anything that's customer related feedback, support tickets, questions, what was this? Repeat client rate, like, are you getting repeat business from any one client? And the last one was the number of documented SOPs, templates, and scripts. All right. So the question, we're going to start with Dr. Toya. The question is, which of the data point fixes do you know you need to be executing as soon as possibly?
Hi. I think focusing on the email conversion rate, which also for me links into the consistent use of the call to action. The email isn't growing because I'm all over the place. And so watching and tracking those numbers, but then fixing how I'm actually telling people to get on the email list will be hugely beneficial.
Love it. Love it. And don't be afraid to put out different lead magnets, right? You can have an infinite number of lead magnets. But you just want them to be on the subject matters that can convert, that will bring in people that will buy your products. But you can put out a lead magnet per week if you want to. So build your list. You don't have to build your list with one single lead magnet that you can create at the top of the year and you've been using the same lead magnet all year long. You can have more than one lead magnet on your website. So you can have one that appears on a page and you can have one that appears as a pop-up. Work these lead magnets. All right, let's go to Dr. Ayana. Dr. Ayana, which of these data point fixes do you need to execute as soon as possibly?
All of them, but let me narrow it down.
Okay.
Sales probably what stands out to me the most. Sales and general operations. Under sales, I think having a call structure, in other words, the discovery call conversion rate, and then the time from converting the lead to closing, the lead stalling. And I think the root of those two issues, the root of the discovery call conversion and the converting from lead to close, I think is just not hitting the avatar, not hitting the target, because if you're not really hitting the people that need you, they're not going to convert. And you said it well yesterday. Stop dealing with people who ain't got no money. The feedback is great. I mean, everybody wants what I'm offering in some way, shape, or form. But the honest truth is they don't seem to have the belief that they can prioritize paying for it. And I won't say they can't pay for it, but they don't see a way to pay for it. They don't see the value, right? It's not valued enough. So from there, everything hinges upon that. And I think the root of it is just really drilling down to the avatar, creating a clear path of re-engagement. So those who do engage, just making sure that they, repeat or re-engage.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think
And certainly the processes. I definitely need the automation. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's big for me. Automations is definitely going to be big because that's a weak point for me for sure.
Okay. I like all of that. All of those were real things. I liked all of that. So thank you for that.
Thank
Keith, you
you.
must be coming off the mic today. I don't see nothing in the studio chat. Oh, there you go. He said under financial was cash flow. Yeah, it's amazing how many people don't think about cash flow. They only look at the month and they don't look at how the money actually flows through that month. So yes, thank you for that, Keith. Let's go to Heather. Heather, which of these data point fixes do you know you need to be executing on as soon as possibly?
Okay. This was a lot.
It was. That's why you should have been here yesterday. Missed you.
Oh, really?
I knew the other was going to say it.
Ma'am. Anyway, Dr. Ayana,
Thank you for being true to yourself, Heather.
Thank you, ma'am. So I think mine probably is the monthly recurring revenue would be the number one thing, because I have been given through this group, and you especially, many ideas, and I have not done shit with them. So that would be, I think that should be one of the first things that I really start to concentrate on as like we start going into the last part of second quarter here. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot. But the crazy thing is, it gives us different data points and different opportunities to excel in those different areas of the business. So that's one good thing. So you don't have to be good at any one thing. You could pick, like you might not be good at the email list thing, but okay, maybe I can be better at the social engagement under marketing. Or maybe I could be better at just where I get my leads from. So yeah, it is a lot though. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so Kimberly, is you coming out the mic because you over here doing thumbs up and stuff, and I don't see nothing in the studio chat for you. Oh, she's trying to come out the mic. Okay, well, come on in.
I'm off the mic. So I'm going to go back to what the very first one you talked about, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but you were talking about like the whole social media aspect, like the TikTok versus YouTube, whatever. And for me, I need to just focus. TikTok is not it for my business. It's doing okay for me personally, but business wise, I think I need to stick with, IG. Because that's where I'm getting the most engagement. But definitely the financial, like the financial piece. And I think I really have the right, and I did the thumbs up because of all the information that you give us so much, and I have ear out. But now I'm learning. It don't really go in one ear and out the other. It just goes in one ear, stays in my head, and I don't do anything with it. So I don't know which data point that is. But,
that's not a data point. We talking about that tomorrow. So we're gonna get to that. So don't worry, and you're not by yourself. So you're not the only one doing that, right? Because just learning what to do is just one part. Actually doing it is always the second part, and it's always a huge problem for a lot of people. So you're not by yourself at all.
Yeah, and I think that definitely goes to the knowledge is power, but no applied knowledge is the power. So yeah. Okay.
Application. Yep.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl got knocked out of place due to technical issues. So Cheryl, which of the data point fixes do you need to execute as soon as possibly?
Well, I'm working still on the automation. I was working with Go High Level. They were so high level over my head, I had to stop and regroup, because you had mentioned, have a campaign and stuff. Well, I had a campaign, but it was like even knowing the terminology they were using and stuff. So I did not sign up, and I did I'm doing a crash course, you know what I'm saying, on the things that we discussed. And they were so nice that they said, we're going to save all your stuff till you come back, and we're going to give you a free month of et cetera, while we get things set up. And I thought, that's good customer service. And but one of the other things that goes with that, the automation, is I have a high conversion rate on discovery calls, but I could have the email marketing with the opt-ins that could be doing that for me while I'm also doing discovery calls, if that makes any sense. In other words, there's two ways to pull in instead of just one, and it all goes back to automation.
Yeah, it does. It does. So that was under we're gonna say operations. So yeah. Cool beans. I think I got everybody in studio, but over here on the YouTube side, we got Shantali. So Shantali says she needs to do an operations, them SOPs, them templates, and them scripts. And I'm gonna tell you, with ChatGPT, we don't have an excuse, but even with ChatGPT, we still have to take the time to put it on the calendar to do it, right? So I'm actually about to change the way I'm doing some stuff. So I need to go back and change SOPs. And so, yeah, just thinking about it, I'd be like, ooh, out of all the stuff I got to do, I feel like I ain't got time to do that. But then guess what? You can't afford not to make time to do that, because you're wasting more time when you don't stop and do it than the time it takes you to stop and do it. So just keep that in mind. So thank you for that, Chantalay. All right. So we've talked about tracking the data points that actually matter and that actually move the needle. We talked about that yesterday. Today, we talked about what those data points, how do we actually make data-driven decisions based on those data points, okay? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about, once we get the decision, once we get in, like we review and we figure out what the problem is and what the fix is, it's going to be a whole list of fix. So then we're going to look at how do we start getting this stuff executed on tomorrow. However, when it comes to picking data points that actually move the needle, and it comes to figuring out the problem based on the data and the fix, do you have any questions about what we talked about so far this week? Do you have any value adds, things that you want to add that would be valuable for the people listening? Or do you have any aha moments? What's something that was just like a game changer that stood out to you? Dr. Ayana.
I just wanted to make a comment. There was some discussion around this whole idea of this is a lot, that came up a couple of times. And I want to just say to you, Master Shay, that although we may say it's a lot, It is absolutely necessary. It is absolutely essential. Whenever students are in class, it's not easy. You grow, and that growth is sometimes uncomfortable. It's sometimes painful, and it should always be challenging. That's how we get better. And if it weren't a little overwhelming, a little uncomfortable, we wouldn't have a need to be here. So I want to just high five and handshake you. Thank you for pushing us and making us think and driving us into areas where we're not comfortable. Because for me, I'm in healthcare, and this is totally out of my world. This is the first time I'm embarking upon this type of whatever, because for one thing, even before I became a professional, my home culture, I came from a culture of entrepreneurs and educators, and they nigger rig things. They duct tape their way through life. And so now we're learning the professional, the real way to get the results we need. Look at Kim. We're learning, and it's a positive, wonderful thing that you're doing, pushing us, and we just appreciate you so much. That's the value for you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's why I made sure for second quarter that I really wanted to focus on operations, because I have found that entrepreneurs don't know what operations is. And even when they learn what it is, they don't know how to run it. Even when we talk about the data they need to collect, if they actually take the time to collect this data, they're not doing anything with it. And so that's why, this quarter, I really wanted to get into this stuff. When I looked at the content I've been doing over the past 3 years, I was like, I'm an operations person, but I haven't been giving y'all enough operations breakdown, like how you should be really running your operations. So that's what I wanted to focus on this quarter. So I love it. Thank you for letting me know that was valuable to you. Anybody else have a question, a value add, or aha moment? Cool beans. Well, I lost my notes. Here we go. I moved them to the other side, to the third monitor. All right, y'all. So this is definitely one of the days you need these notes, because like y'all said, it was a lot. It's a lot to remember. You can't hold on to all of it. You prioritizing, so you picking one thing, but you need all the things. So you definitely need these notes so that you get all of the a lot, and you can take your time once you have downloaded them to go through these things in these 4 areas of business. So there are only 2 ways that you can get my show notes. And that is, number 1, you have to be in our free business mastermind group. They live in the file section. Number 2, you can get these show notes, class notes, and the entire morning show in your email inbox by going to shaycannon.com/show to sign up. You will get 2 emails every broadcast day. One in the morning to remind you to hop on YouTube Live to be here live with us for the show. And one in the afternoon that's going to give you a link to the replay and a link to the notes. All right. shaycannon.com/show. Now, this week, what's happening in our free business mastermind group? On Thursday, we have Fuck Up Night virtual happy hour. What you're going to do is you're going to come in with what's fucking up in your business, and we're going to fix it over drinks. Okay. So this is usually something for our paid membership only, but we invite our free mastermind group to come in on the second half. All right. Friday is a get shit done work session day. It's another perk of the paid membership, but we invite the free group in on the second half. Okay. On Sunday, we are ending our 14-day May goals momentum sprints, and we're going to start with our June goals planning. So it's going to be Sunday, but be aware that instead of 4 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to do 7 p.m. Eastern time in an attempt to get more people to join, because those that do join us, baby, they get results. Okay. This is members only. If you want to be a member, go to shaycannon.com/membership. Don't forget, on Monday is a Memorial Day holiday. We will not be live broadcasting. We will come in on Tuesday. So we'll do a 3-part series next week instead of a 4-part series. All right. Cool beans. Well, if you want to know more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, and how to be a part of our highly valuable free business mastermind group, the link and more details are below in the description. Make sure that you like our episode, because we gave you good value. So give us a thumbs up, like our episode. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you're catching all of the videos in this 4-part series. So check out the other videos. All right. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.